Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Q News. I'm Gabrielle Barone.
And I'm Rachel Diodato. November 3rd is approaching, which means Election Day is right around the corner.
And for many students at High Point, this will be their first chance to vote. The university is giving students the opportunity to cast their ballot. Alyssa Hefner has more on what HPU continues to provide for its students this election season.
On Saturday, October 24th, High Point University provided transportation for students to early vote.
Our God-given right to vote, and it's in the Constitution. I think we should utilize it as best we can because, especially as a younger generation, that we have such a big opportunity in this election to play out the next 4 years.
There are several students on campus dedicated to teaching their peers about voting in the upcoming election, one of them being HPU Campus Democracy Ambassador Dalton Lucas.
Last Saturday, we had a vote early event where we had a DJ, food truck, and shuttles to the polls. So I think that we've had several opportunities for students to engage in the process.
Overall, the message is clear. Get out and vote. No matter who you're voting for, everyone stands for something, and your vote truly does matter. For Q News, I'm Alyssa Hefner.
Shuttles continue to run, allowing students to vote.
Last week in Nashville, we saw President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden take the stage in the final debate. After President Trump's COVID diagnosis earlier this month, the second debate was canceled, resulting in only 2 debates this election season. For the debate, mics were muted, allowing each candidate to fully answer each question. Some topics included COVID-19, American families, and race.
Earlier in the week, Amy Coney Barrett was sworn into the Supreme Court after a 52-48 Senate vote. President Donald Trump made the decision to fill the spot after the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The ruling took place 8 days prior to election, with Barrett becoming president. Trump's third appointment.
Vice President Mike Pence made an appearance in the triad on Tuesday. With the upcoming election, Vice President Pence held a rally on the Piedmont Triad International Airport in Greensboro. Most polls show Democrat Joe Biden winning North Carolina Election Day draws closer as the state proves to be vital for both candidates.
It's not there. Next up for Q News, the Black Lives Matter movement on campus.
And what it means to be a student during this time.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything.
I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor.
If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Go. A second night of protests arise in Philadelphia after police shooting of Walter Wallace, a 27-year-old black man. The police reported that Wallace was wielding a knife and was ignoring orders to drop the weapon before he was fatally shot. Catherine Wallace, Walter's mother, said that the officers knew of their son's mental health condition because the officers had been to their house 3 times that Monday. She had told reporters that they stood there and laughed at us. This has called in many Philadelphia to start marching into action.
People are not only marching over police shooting deaths such as these, but for the racial injustice overall.
Why I protested is because I wanted to shed light to what's been going on with the recent events on High Point's campus.
It's not just Black people that think it's an issue, and that's what they think.
Students made signs and held an open mic expressing their feelings about race relations on campus. Junior Gabrielle Eidelberg describes the open mic that took place.
I was very moved. Yeah, the open mic really opened my eyes. One girl got up and spoke, I don't know her name, and she said that someone straight up went up to her friend and called her in her face.
Junior Lon Parker says he is not only worried about himself.
How are our current freshmen feeling? How are our parents feeling about their children being here with stuff going on like that on campus? So stand up for this, and we need to figure out a way to bring light to this on campus and show administration and the higher-ups that this is unacceptable and that they need to put more emphasis on this campus.
And I applaud them for trying to take the steps, but we need more than that. We need to know that automatically they're expelled, because we're in a time now, I could get expelled for having 10 people in this joint. Like, let's put it in perspective. So that's all I want. I want them to start taking these instances seriously as they do anything else that happens off this campus. We need action. No more emails.
For Q News, I'm Morgan Kay.
Students feel this is an important issue and want more transparency from the university. Young Life, also known as College Life, is a Christian group that aims to create a community for people to find faith in Jesus Christ. They have events, bi-weekly meetings, Bible studies, and retreats where students can come to build community and hear about the gospel. This week, they had a photo scavenger hunt across HBU's campus. They broke into teams, and the winning team received a bag of candy and other prizes. They welcomed anyone and everyone to come to gatherings and be a part of their organization.
High Point University students are raving about a new restaurant off campus. Nutrition on Main serves healthy and delicious meal replacement shakes along with energizing and metabolism-boosting teas featuring cleansing aloe and so much more. Just 3 minutes away from campus, students get to enjoy a refreshing beverage to help them stay energized and awake for the day. For more information, check out their Instagram page at Nutrition on Main.
Thank you for turning into Q News. I am Rachel Diodato.
And I'm Gabrielle Barone. Stay tuned in new Cabine Arena next up.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man. Women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
From the Nito Corbin School of Communication on the campus of High Point University, this is Q Sports Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Kaylee Tollison along with Trevor Omahan, here to give you this week's Q Sports Update.
The new Cobain Arena was set to open this fall, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the arena construction was delayed and will now open next fall. HPU seniors who were excited to see the new arena will now not get to see it. Q Sports reporter Harris Eisenberg has more on this story.
The Cobain Arena was set to open this fall and house men's and women's basketball, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, construction was delayed, leaving the arena with much construction left to do. The 4,500-seat arena is now scheduled to open in the fall of 2021. HPU students were ready to fill the arena this fall, but will now have to wait. And for seniors, a chance to see the completed arena may never come.
Yeah, the project's been going since my sophomore year. I was excited to go sit in the arena with all the students to cheer on our team, but the fact that it got delayed a little bit and now I'm going to be graduating before it is officially finished and able to have a game, it's a little disappointing in my mind.
Yeah, as a senior, I'd say it's a big disappointment to not be able to go and visit the Cobain Arena for the first time, especially for me. being a senior, that means I'm not going to get a chance to experience it before I graduate. So I'd say, yeah, it's definitely a disappointment.
With the arena still under construction, HPU basketball will remain at the Millis Center, where their Division I basketball programs have been housed since 1992. Whether there will be fans in the stands or not is still yet to be determined. For Q Sports Update, I'm Harris Eisenberg.
High Point University men's golf redshirt sophomore Adam Hooker squeezed out a top 25 finish in the Grandover Men's Griffin Amateur in Greensboro this past weekend. Hooker shot a .229 to finish 13 above par. HPU freshmen Grady Newton and William Phipps both entered the tournament as well. However, their weekends were cut a round short because they both shot too high over par in the earlier rounds.
Tom Brady stunned the NFL world when he made the decision to leave New England after 20 seasons. Q Sports' Jake Failer has the story.
For the first time in his 20-year career, Tom Brady will not quarterback the New England Patriots. The 43-year-old headlined the offseason with a stunning move to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, replacing the talented but turnover-prone Jameis Winston. Brady's debut with Tampa Bay was rough, as he threw 2 bad interceptions, including a pick six, as the Buccaneers fell to division rival New Orleans. Since their opening week loss, Brady has looked more comfortable in Bruce Arians' offense, as he and the Buccaneers are positioning themselves in a push for the playoffs. I spoke with lifelong Patriots fan Alex Sinkowitz to discuss his thoughts on Brady moving teams after 20 years and his performances with the Buccaneers so far.
Seeing Tom Brady, in a different uniform, it was tough the first week, obviously, and he didn't have the best game himself. But coming out the second week, he performed better. He looks good in the Tampa Bay uniform. I'm always a Tom fan, so I'll root for Tom no matter what.
For Alex and many others, it's very odd seeing Brady in a different uniform after 20 years. With your Q Sports Update, I'm Jake Failer.
There's more bad news for the Dallas Cowboys. Not only are they 2-4, but Andy Dalton left Sunday's game with a concussion after a hit to the head from John Bostic. Dalton became the starter after Dak Prescott suffered a gruesome ankle injury in Week 5. The Cowboys are now forced to start former James Madison quarterback Ben DiNucci.
Tampa Bay are currently leading the NFC South with a 5-2 record. The double threat that we saw in New England last season is back, with Antonio Brown joining the team on a 1-year contract of $1 million in base salary, but could earn up to $2.5 million with incentives. Brown arrived in Tampa on Friday night and began his first day of practice Saturday morning. If all goes as planned, Brown will be eligible to play for the Bucs in Week 9. Tom Brady is excited to have Brown back in his corner and hopes that together they can bring the team to the Super Bowl.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are now the last undefeated team in the NFL by way of a 27-24 victory over the Tennessee Titans, and with the Seattle Seahawks losing 37-34 to the Arizona Cardinals. The Steelers led by as much as 20 points in their game against the Titans and hung on to win as Titans kicker Stephen Gostkowski missed a game-tying field goal. Russell Wilson threw 3 interceptions in the Seahawks' loss to the Cardinals, including one after a potential game-winning touchdown was called back due to a holding penalty. The Steelers will face the Baltimore Ravens in Week 8 on Sunday.
The Big Ten season kicked off this weekend. Wisconsin opened conference play with a 45-7 win over Illinois. Ohio State rolled to a 52-17 win over Nebraska as Justin Fields threw for 276 yards. Number 18 Michigan beat number 21 Minnesota 49-24. Indiana pulled an upset over number 8 Penn State, winning in overtime 36-35 on a controversial final play.
Big Ten football debuted this past weekend, but so did Big Ten COVID cases. Wisconsin quarterback Graham Mertz tested positive over the weekend after playing Illinois on Friday. The Badgers will likely be forced to start their 4th-string quarterback for Saturday's game against Nebraska. Starting quarterback Jack Doan suffered a foot injury, and the 3rd-stringer also returned a positive COVID test. Big Ten policy requires a minimal 21-day quarantine after a positive test.
The Los Angeles Dodgers captured the World Series over the Tampa Bay Rays with a 3-1 win in Game 6. It was the first World Series win for the Dodgers since 1988. Corey Seager was unanimously named the World Series MVP. He also won the NLCS MVP, becoming the 8th player to ever win both of these awards in the same season.
The NBA is looking to start the 2021 season around December 22nd, along with a reduced schedule. They're planning on having 72 games, a play-in tournament, and no All-Star break. Instead, they're considering a 2-week break halfway through the season. The NBA is also abandoning plans to open with the hopes of fans coming back for now.
The New Orleans Pelicans have announced Stan Van Gundy as their new head coach. He becomes the 7th coach in Pelicans franchise history. Van Gundy has formerly coached the Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, and the Detroit Pistons. Van Gundy has a record of 523 wins and 384 losses as a head coach and is searching for his first NBA title with the Pelicans.
After successfully defending his lightweight title for the 3rd time, Habib Nurmagomedov suddenly announced his retirement after defeating Justin Gaethje in a submission victory last Saturday night. The 29-0 undefeated champion cited the loss of his father as the reason behind his decision to step away from the sport.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's Q Sports Update. I'm Trevor Omahan with Kaylee Tollison. We'll see you next week.